Shalom, welcome to Tactically Torah. I am Pete Hayes. Today is day 55. Darn, day 55 of Read the Bible in a Year. And we're tracking on Numbers 31, chapters 31 through 33. We're on page 176 in the scriptures if you want to follow along. And real quick, need the old Burt's Bees. Just finished doing some fire, burning some things outside. So, hey, all right, we are in here, going to do the things such as read the word. All right, let's jump on it. Chapter 31. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, "Take vengeance for the children of Israel on the Midianites. After that, you are to be gathered to your people." And Moshe spoke to the people, saying, arm some of yourselves for the campaign, and let them go against the Midianites to take vengeance for Yahweh on Midian. Send 1,000 from each tribe of all the tribes of Israel for the campaign. So there were supplied from the tribes of Israel 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed ones for the campaign. And Moshe sent them on the campaign, 1,000 from each tribe, them and Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the priest, on the campaign with the set-apart utensils and the trumpets for sounding in his hand. And they fought against the Midianites as Yahweh commanded Moshe, and killed all the males. And they killed the sovereigns of Midian with the rest of those who were pierced, Ui, and Rechem, and Sur, and Hur, and Reba, the 5 sovereigns of Midian. They killed Bilam, and they killed Bilam, son of Beor, with the sword. And the sons of Israel took all the women of Midian captive, with their little ones, and took as spoil all their livestock and all their possessions. And they burned with fire all the cities where they dwelt, and all their settlements, and they took all the spoil and all the booty, both of man and beast. And they brought the captives and the booty and the spoil to Moshe and Eleazar the priest and the congregation of the children of Israel, to the camp in the desert plains of Moab by the Yarden of Jericho. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest and all the leaders of the congregation went to meet them outside the camp. But Moshe was wroth with the officers of the army, with the commanders of the thousands and commanders of hundreds who had come from the campaign. And Moshe said to them, "Have you kept all the women alive? Look, they are the ones who caused the children of Israel through the word of Balaam to trespass against Yahweh in the matter of Peor." And there was a plague among the congregation of Yahweh. And now, kill every male among the little ones, and every woman who has known a man by lying with a man, you shall kill. But keep alive for yourselves all the female children who have not known a man by lying with a man. And you camp outside And you camp outside the camp 7 days. Whoever has killed any being, and whosoever has touched any slain, cleanse yourself and your captives on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and cleanse every garment and every object of leather and all the work of goats' hair, and every object of wood. And Eleazar the priest said to the men of the campaign who went to the battle, "This is the law of the Torah which Yahweh commanded Moshe. Only the gold and the silver, the bronze, the iron, the tin, and the lead, every object that passes through fire you put through the fire, and it shall be clean. Only let it be cleansed with water for uncleanness. And whatever does not pass through the fire, you pass through water. And you shall wash your garments on the 7th day and be clean. and afterwards come into the camp. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Count up the plunder that was taken, of man and of beast, you and Eleazar the priest, and the heads of the fathers of the congregation, and you shall divide the plunder in 2 parts, between those who took part in the battle, who went out into the campaign, and all the congregation, or who went out into the campaign, and all the congregation. So that's the 2 parts. And set aside a levy for Yahweh on the men of battle who went out on the campaign, 1 out of every 500 of man, and of the cattle, and of the donkeys, and of the sheep. Take it from their half, and give it to Eleazar the priest as a contribution to Yahweh. And from the children of Israel's half, you shall take 1 of every 50 of man, of the cattle, or 1 of every 50 of man, of the cattle, of the donkeys, and of the sheep, of all the livestock, and give them to the Levites, guarding the duty of the dwelling place of Yahweh. And Moshe and Eleazar, however you say that name, the priest, did as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And the booty remaining from the plunder which the people of the campaign had taken was 675,000 sheep, and 72,000 cattle, and 61,000 donkeys, 32,000 human beings in all, of women who had not known a man by lying with a man, and the half, the portion of those who went out in the campaign, was in number 337,500 sheep. And the levy unto Yahweh of the sheep was 675. And the cattle were 6,000, of which the levy unto Yahweh was 72. And the donkeys were 30,500, which the levy unto Yahweh was 61. And the human beings were 16,000, of which the levy unto Yahweh was 32 beings. So Moshe gave the levy which was the contribution to Yahweh to Eleazar the priest, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And from the children of Israel's half, which Moshe divided from the men who campaigned, now the half belonging to the congregation was 337,500 sheep, and 36,000 cattle, and 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 human beings. Then Moshe took out of the children of Israel's half 1 out of every 50 drawn from man and beast, and gave them to the Levites, who guarded the duty of the dwelling place of Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And the officers who were over thousands of the campaign, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, came near to Moshe. And they said to Moshe, Your servants have taken account of the fighting men under our command, and not a man of us is missing. So we have brought an offering for Yahweh, what every man found of ornaments of gold, armlets and bracelets, and signet rings and earrings and necklaces, to make atonement for ourselves before Yahweh. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest received the gold from them, all the fashioned ornaments, and all the gold of the offering that they presented to Yahweh for the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds was 16,750 shekels. The men of the campaign had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest received the gold from the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tent of appointment as a remembrance for the children of Yahweh, of Yisrael, before Yahweh. Chapter 32. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had much livestock, a large number. And they saw the land of Yazer and the land of Gilead, and saw the place and saw that the place was a place for livestock. Goodness. So the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moshe and to Eleazar the priest and to the leader of the congregation, saying, Ataroth and Dibon and Yazer, and Nimrah and Heshbon and El Ale, and Sibam and Nebo and Beon. The land which Yahweh had stricken before the congregation of Israel is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock. And they said, If we have found favor in your eyes, let this land be given to your servants as a possession, and do not let us pass over the Jordan. And Moshe said to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, Are your brothers to go into battle while you yourselves sit here? Now why do you discourage the heart of the children of Israel from passing over into the land which Yahweh has given them? Thus your fathers did when I sent them away from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up to the Wadi Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, so that they did not go into the land which Yahweh had given them. Then the displeasure of Yahweh burned on that day, and he swore an oath, saying, Not one of the men who came up out of Mitzrayim from 20 years old and above is to see the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they did not follow me completely, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Yehoshua, son of Nun, Joshua. For they have followed Yahweh completely. So the displeasure of Yahweh burned against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the congregation that had done evil in the eyes of Yahweh was destroyed. And see, you have risen in your father's place an increase of men, sinners, to add still more the burning displeasure of Yahweh against Israel. For if you turn away from following him, he shall once again leave them in the wilderness, and you shall destroy all these people. Then they came near to him and said, Let us build sheep enclosures here for our livestock, and cities for our little ones, but let us ourselves be armed, hastening before the children of Israel, until we have brought them to their place. And our little ones shall dwell in the walled cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We shall not return to our homes until every one of the children of Israel has received his inheritance. For we shall not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has fallen to us on this eastern side of the Jordan, or the Jordan. And Moshe said to them, If you make this promise, if you arm yourselves before Yahweh for battle, and all your armed ones pass over the Jordan before Yahweh until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land has been subdued before Yahweh, then afterward you shall return, and be guiltless before Yahweh and before Israel, and this land shall be your possession before Yahweh. But if you do not do so, then see, you shall sin against Yahweh, and know, your sin is going to find you out. Build cities for your little ones and enclosures for your sheep, and do what you have promised. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moshe, saying, Your servants are going to do as my master commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our livestock are going to be there in the cities of Gilad. But your servants are passing over every armed one of the army before Yahweh to battle, as my master says. And Moshe gave the command concerning them to Eleazar, the priest, to Yehoshua son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. And Moshe said to them, If the children of Gad and the children of Reuben passed over the Jordan with you, every man armed for battle before Yahweh, and the land has been subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead as a possession. But if they do not pass over armed with you, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. Then the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, As Yahweh has said to your servants, so we do. We ourselves are passing over armed before Yahweh into the land of Canaan, but the possession of our inheritance remains with us beyond the Jordan. So Moshe gave the children of Gad, Moshe gave to the children of Gad Moshe gave to the children of Gad, to the children of Reuben, and to half the tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph, the reign of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, and the reign of Og, sovereign of Bashan, the land with its cities within the borders, the cities of the land round about. And the children of Gad built Dibon, and Ateroth, and Aroer, and Atroth, and Shophan, and Yezer, and Yogbehan, and Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran, walled cities, and enclosures for sheep. And the children of Reuben built Heshbon, and El Aleh, and Kiriathayim, Nebo, and Baal Meon, the names being changed, and Shibma. And they gave other names to the cities which they built. And the sons of Machir, son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and took it, and dispossessed the Amorites who were in it. So Moshe gave Gilead to Machir, son of Manasseh, and he dwelt in it. And Yair, son of Manasseh, went and took its small towns and called them Hawoth Yair. And Nobah went and took Kenath and its villages, and he called it Nobah after his own name. Chapter 33. These are the departures of the children of Israel who went out of the land of Mitzrayim by their divisions, under the hand of Moshe and Aaron. And Moshe wrote down the starting points of their departures at the mouth of Yahweh. These are the departures according to their starting points. So they departed from Ramses. My goodness. So they departed from Ramses in the first new moon, on the 15th day of the first new moon, on the morrow of the Pesach. And the children of Israel went out with boldness before the eyes of all the Mitzrites, and the Mitzrites were burying all their firstborn whom Yahweh had stricken among them. Also on their mighty ones Yahweh had executed judgments. Then the children of Israel departed from Ramses and camped at Sukkot. And they departed from Sukkot and camped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. And they departed from Etham and turned back to Pi Hahiroth, which is east of Baal Zephon. And they camped near Migdol. And they departed from before Hahiroth and passed over through the midst of the sea into the wilderness. When 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham, went 3 days' journey in the wilderness of Etham and camped at Marah. And they departed from Marah and came to Elim, and at Elim were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, so they camped there. And they departed from Elim and camped by the Sea of Reeds, and they departed from the Sea of Reeds and camped in the wilderness of Sin. And they departed from the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. They departed from Dophkah and camped at Alush, and departed from Alush and camped at Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. And they departed from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. And they departed from the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hata'awa. Kibroth Hata'awa. And they departed from Kibroth Hata'awa and camped at Hatzeroth. And they departed from Hatzeroth and camped at Rithma. And they departed from Rithma and camped at Rimmon Peretz. And they departed from Rimmon Peretz and camped at Libnah. And they departed from Libnah and camped at Rissah. And they departed from Rissah and camped at Kehelatha. And they departed from Kehelatha and camped at Mount Shapher. They departed from Mount Shapher and camped at Haradah. And they departed from Haradah and camped at Makheloth. And they departed from Makheloth and camped at Tahath. And they departed from Tahath and camped at Terah. And they departed from Terah and camped at Mithkah. They departed from Mithkah and camped at Hashmonah. They departed from Hashmonah and camped at Moseroth. They departed from Moseroth and camped at Bnei Yaachan. They departed from Bnei Yaachan and camped at Hor Hagid Gad. And they departed from Hor Hagid Gad and camped at Yotbatha. There it is. And they departed from Yotbatha and camped at Abronah. And they departed from Abronah and camped at Etzion Geber. And they departed from Etzion Geber and camped in the wilderness of Sin, which is Kadesh. And they departed from Kadesh and they camped at Mount Hor, on the boundary of the land of Edom. Then Aaron the priest went up to Mount Hor at the mouth of Yahweh and died there in the 40th year after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Mitzrayim, on the first day of the 5th new moon. Now Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor, and the sovereign of Arad the Canaanite, who dwelt south in the land of Canaan, heard of the coming of the children of Israel. So they departed from Mount Hor and they camped at Salmonah. They departed from Salmonah and camped at Punan. And they departed from Punan and camped at Oboth. And they departed from Oboth and camped at Yeha-Abarim at the border of Moab. And they departed from Iyim, I guess that's a short form of Yeha-Abarim, Iyim, and camped at Dibon Gad. Verse 46. And they departed from Dibon Gad and camped at Almon Diblathayema. Diblathayema. Almon Diblathayema. Okay. And they departed from Almon Diblathayema. Diblathayema. Almon Diblah. Goodness gracious. And camped in the mountains. That one really tied me up. Tell you what. And camped in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. And they departed from the mountains of Abarim, and camped in the desert plains of Moab by the Yarden of Jericho. And they camped by the Yarden from Beth Yeshimoth as far as the Abel Shittim in the desert plains of Moab. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe in the desert plains of Moab by the Yarden of Jericho, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you have passed over the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall drive out all of the inhabitants of the land from before you, and shall destroy their engraved stones, and shall destroy all their molded images, and lay waste all their high places. And you shall possess the land and dwell in it, for I have given you the land to possess, and you shall divide the land by lot as an inheritance among your clans. To the larger you give a larger inheritance, to the smaller you give a smaller inheritance. Wherever the lot falls to anyone, that is his. You inherit according to the tribes of your fathers. And if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall be that those whom you let remain shall be pricks in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and they shall trouble you in the land where you dwell. And it shall be that I do to you as I thought to do to them. All right. Tomorrow we continue on in Numbers chapter 34. Shalom.